Just letting you know this is only my spoiler first impressions of the episode. Check my pinned comment for a free gift related to this video. And to watch my unfiltered reactions with exclusive bonuses, join my Asha Media TV Club. The link is in the description box below. Now, here's my afterthoughts of this episode of Fringe.
Okay, I'm not gonna deny, I'm really surprised that it's just like, whoop, there it is. It's in my head now. He's just gonna have the same abilities, and that's it. Obviously, you know not to answer. I'm just saying, those are questions. I'm just like, oh, answers. I gotta be patient and wait. Okay. Talk about a phone call, 2 minutes too late. Whew. Alrighty. Let's get back to the beginning. I'm not so rushed like I was for the last reaction. So, whatever I think is of value to talk about, I will talk about. Alright, so, okay, let's start there. Let's start there because that's pretty much at the beginning here. Nice moment, looking through her stuff, finding out that she's very much his daughter. It's like physically she looks like Olivia, but personality-wise maybe, or, you know, you could say she's very much like Peter. Well, I was going to say something and I forgot what it was. Okay, either way, I like this moment to open up. It wasn't too melodramatic, because, you know, sometimes you'll get those episodes where after a death, they can go a little overboard, but this was just right to see how much or where they're at with their grief to some degree, starting out with the episode. And he finds all that stuff that she had there that's proven to be quite useful for them. Okay, let's move a little forward from there. Actually, I'll just stop here to acknowledge this was a very good moment, which ties in very nicely to how it actually ended, with her pleading with him to come back home and survive it. So if I had to put two scenes together, it'd be this scene and that last scene. I think would fit like a little puzzle, you know, if you had to just pick only two. Okay, moving forward. And then we have Olivia looking at the pictures. If anything, what I do appreciate so far up until this point is showing the difference in how Olivia deals with the loss versus Peter, and then bumping things up as the episode progresses, which I'll touch on as I move a little forward. I do like seeing the differences between the two and what comes of it, with the choices being made and the argument about what's what. Okay, so let's focus in here on the first, I would say this is probably the first reveal of the season of observer focused event, right? This whole bringing back from the future their technology through the wormhole that they were trying to turn into a black hole. Oh, I'll get to that. But just on a visual standpoint, I think they did such a good job. And yeah, just visually, you know, sometimes special effects doesn't need to be that spectacular to simply just be spectacular. Okay. But I guess that speaks volumes. If anything, okay, I'll just add on, if anything that also got me thinking was, okay, if they're just bringing, if this is one scene with this alone, are there other instances of other things they're bringing in? Or is it just related to that? Now, the book they found had all those times and schedules and all that. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's fleeting thoughts I share out loud. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna pass some of this. Although I can't deny, when they do sneak in Walter, his humor and the stuff he does, like not being able to get to that part of the amber because of his tendency to try to cook up stuff or what thereof. I appreciated it, especially in an episode with so much darker mood, you know? It's always nice to have that moment where you can laugh. All right, now this scene here, it was a nice reminder about that whole thing with the observers trying to diminish the air quality. Now, the only thing I can't help but wonder, aside from the fact that, you know, they need to show things in increments, I'm just thinking in terms of time-wise with all these years, 20-something years, or is it 20-something years? But a lot of years has gone by since they invaded versus now, and I guess I'm wondering why is it taken them so long to even accomplish what they're trying to do with the air quality? Maybe because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, well, if they have the tech and everything, why isn't it not just, you know, a one-shot deal? You know, like I said, fleeting thoughts. But perhaps the preparation of it in and of itself, maybe in the future, assisting them to that part in the past. Maybe that in itself is in development. So whatever's going on in their future is taking its own time to then be relevant or necessary to then be transported to this time. You know what I mean? Maybe not. Oh, I'm not the best sometimes, I know, to express myself. Okay. Let's get down to the goods here with this moment with Peter. Actually, sorry, I went back a little too fast. I like this moment here because it's reminiscent of when he was trying to figure out the Doomsday Machine. And I like how, actually, that's not the only moment, actually, that's very reminiscent of previous episodes with Peter focused on a mission to figure something out. But that's what it reminded me of the moment I saw it, and I think that's deliberate. Yeah, and I'm going to acknowledge this was a really great moment between Astrid and Olivia. And considering that we see Astrid once in a while, whenever she is on screen, Jessica Nicole definitely knows how to leave her imprint in an episode. That's the best way I can describe it. But it was a very needed moment between a character who's grieving and a character who's extremely compassionate and very empathetic, like Astrid is. I really, really like that. Simple, but heartwarming. All right, yeah, so this whole thing with the alphabet, damn, essentially, that's a B to me. And if you turn it the other around, it looks like boobies. But yeah, the fact that the letter B can be multiple things, and just the way she explained how she'll need so much more machinery to figure it out, and she actually ends up figuring it out before the end of the episode. Kudos, sure, that's great. I thought they were going to use the observer that they had captured to somehow, some way, I don't know, you know how they figure out contraptions of stuff, and I thought in some ways it would translate to understanding the language. Or maybe, like as I said, they'll eventually figure it out through September at some point in time, whenever, if he does show up. Saying if now, because I don't know. I mean, it's only episode 5, but they wouldn't mention him unless he's planning to show up at some point. Either way, I'm glad it's Astrid, because it reminded me again that is one of her skills, decoding stuff. I mean, that's one of the main things I've seen Astrid do since season 1 to now, and bringing it back to the forefront when they really desperately need it, and when it's something so difficult like that. I think that was great. That was good. And it puts her character to use to what she has been, sorry, I'm not wording that right. It just puts her talents to use. Yes, her talents that they've shown in the series, without it, without it being a scene that's not necessary. Okay. All right, so the demonstration here, I kind of got it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about turning a wormhole into a black hole. Huh? Is that pretty much it? And it was nice to see the demonstration of it just in general. I'm trying to get a freeze frame of it. Okay, I just stopped there. There we go. I miss seeing that and having Walter show it like this. I always appreciate it, even if I don't always understand fully. But I think I got the gist of it. And now, why it didn't work and all that, I guess with Peter and the tech he now has in his mind, he'll be able to figure it out. So, look forward to seeing how they show that in simple terms too. Okay, let's move on. All right, so let me touch on this part here. Having Walter listen to them, which leads up to his conversation with Olivia, that was good. Because not only am I as a viewer able to see from Peter's perspective and Olivia's perspective of the situation, but to kind of get the inside, like, what's Walter thinking? Because I'm thinking, well, I mean, we know what he's thinking eventually, but at this point, before we knew, I thought he was probably going to intervene in a sense of maybe appealing to Peter. I thought he was going to be the one to appeal to Peter, like, you don't want to break up your family with this and so forth and so on. And also I had the thought of maybe he was going to do something surprisingly behind both of their backs to somehow help the situation in some fashion. Something along those lines. That's what I was thinking at that point. All right. Now, this whole thing here. I'm trying to see if I can... Yeah, this is good. We'll stay here. This was great. This was fan-bloody-tastic. I mean, Joshua Jackson, hats off. This actor, hats off. It was great. And if anything, what I take from it so far is intellectually, they are so ahead that it justifies, so far in my opinion, until I understand further, it totally justifies Peter, taking that tech and trying to catch up. Because everything he ends up saying before he died there to Peter with the whole fly and all that rings true on the main level that they're trying to show it. That's great. I'm sorry, people. I'm not the best. Sometimes I can get it out there, sometimes I can't. Okay. But yeah, this whole thing. And if you're able to break it down in simple terms, maybe just in one paragraph, what this whole process was. I mean, I know he did describe it. And maybe that's just me right now, getting you to comment, especially those of you that normally don't. Probably shouldn't expect you to. If you normally don't, you probably won't start now. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. And if anything, I guess what I want you to explain is, how is he? Okay, you know what? It was a great scene. Let's move on. Great scene. Okay, this was the perfect reminder for me, and it's possible by this point that you're watching this video, you probably commented it in the previous episode. I wouldn't be surprised, because I guess that was the episode for me to kind of realize it, but I realized it in this one instead, where Walter lost Peter twice. And it's matchup with Peter and Olivia losing Etta twice. And so all the more than anybody, Walter understands where they're coming from. Or I guess more for Peter? Well, no, more towards Olivia with that pain. And when he said the line of, the pain is a reminder that it was real, wow. That really hits the mark. And then you think of all those years
in between that time until Peter showed up. The pain was what anchored him to never forget Peter. And then buying the birthday gifts for him every year. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying. But yeah, wonderful scene. Yeah, I went ahead of myself with this part, but I think I covered it enough. All right, so here they try it out. And I was surprised at this point here that how fast the observer found them. But he found them. And okay, yeah, we start. I'm trying to see if I can get that freeze frame with the shoe. That was just so good. Okay. Oh yeah, I got it. Yes. Isn't that great? He just came from telling Peter all of that, you know? We look at you like you're a bunch of ants. I thought that was brilliant. And to put it in there with a close-up shot, oh, that's just great. And that to me right there is to show you when a director respects the script. Huh? Because you get those directors where the lines are there to give you this kind of imagery, and some directors just don't. Oh, anyway, great. So yeah, the mystery of white didn't work. I look forward to the explanation. If the explanation is super obvious, I'm not noticing it. So yeah. But what I do notice, and what I did notice, was their wonderful way of showing this part here. Boom, right? You see your daughter's pictures and posters everywhere. That was such a good way to remind you that everything they're doing right now is to validate this person's death and the meaning they brought to their lives. And also remind you of the world they're living in, and to defeat these observers who have created this dystopia, really. That was so cool, just having it all lined up there. Huh. Very neat. I might make this my thumbnail. There's so many thumbnail worthy moments. And believe it or not, it's not the easiest thing for me to pick out a thumbnail. Sometimes I'll literally screenshot like 20, 25 of them before I make my choice. All right, now we're getting down to the dirty, I would call it. And that's Peter making this decision here to... Wow, let me just see. Oh, I had it there. Here we go. This decision to take on the technology that they use to have their abilities, and the way they had him scream it out, if I had your stuff, I'd be 10 times better kind of thing. And then he knocks him out, and I'm like, wow. Hey, viewer, you want to see what Peter can do? Let's show you now. Holy crap, I did not expect it to be that. Like, he was just going to take out the tech, as I'm going to get to here, and this was a gruesome scene, and just pop it into his head. But with the given circumstances, with the performance, it makes sense that Peter would make such a decision. I mean, after all, this is someone that went around killing shapeshifters to get the discs. So if you're one of those viewers that thinks this was out of character, feel free to let me know why. I think it fits. Yeah, this was heartbreaking to watch. That's the point. But it's also pretty much what Walter was saying to her. That rings true for her to see for herself and experience for herself. And then to make that phone call a couple minutes too late. What would it have made a difference? Let's say she called before he even got to that point. I could still see Peter making a decision maybe like this, but who knows? I guess we'll never know.
Unless they do a rewind in this show. But yeah, I did not expect it to just zippity-zoo right up there. So taking it out kills you, or is it the way he took it out? Clarify that. I'm not 100% sure on that. Is it the lack of it that killed the guy, or is it the way in the manner to which Peter took it out that killed him? And surprisingly, it didn't really... I mean, all it took was just for him to nick the back of give it an opening. And up it goes. And then Olivia gives him the phone call. Come home. Oh, that's something. Oh, wow. Okay. It's moments like this where I feel so jealous for those of you that watched it in real time and then you wait till the next week. That's one thing I miss about network TV. Well, some streaming channels do it with some of their shows where you do wait week to week. But it's the anticipation that I'm a little bit jealous of for those of you that saw it when it came out on TV. Believe it or not. Anyways, let me end off here. Okay, this part here, you know what crossed my mind? That episode, I don't remember the one, but it's when Walter was believing that the machine was affecting Peter. And then after he tells him that, we see Peter sitting there at his dresser and he's looking in the mirror. Again, a reflection of that. And now, I wonder how similar is it? Because at that point in time, was it true? I mean, I can't remember the comments, to be honest. So you're more than welcome to remind me. Like, was it true? Was the machine really affecting him because of the way he looked in the mirror? Oh, wait, no. It was the guilt, likely. Not guilt, but, oh gosh. See, this is what happens when you mix up your seasons, and I'm mixed up right now with my seasons and my episodes. Anyway, I like the parallel. That's the point I'm actually trying to say. It's great. And so, Olivia finding out now. Or is she gonna... Oh, he's probably not gonna tell her. But, I mean, how can you hide it, right? He's gonna have abilities. Anyways, I guess I'll wait and see on that. Jumping the gun. All right, another episode. That's 5 Ashamojis. Really like this one very much so. And things are picking up. So many of you who've commented that things really start to ramp up towards the end of the finale. And since you claim it's your favorite season, you know, a lot of positive things, although I'm aware of the negative as well. But so far for me, regardless of what has been said or written, more or less, I like it. Now, the gloomy vibe, though, I won't deny, is a bit kind of a bummer. And I do also miss the case of the week thing, that whole pattern. I do miss that. But I understand this was the last season. They got it when they didn't think they would get it, and then the fan campaign and all. And when you get 13 episodes, you gotta get shit moving. So I understand. So just know that, right? I understand that for this 5th season, they have to kind of change things up so they can get their story to conclude itself. So yeah. There you have it. Those are my afterthoughts. My reaction to episode number 5 from the 5th season, 5th season of Fringe. And if you want access to my uncut, unfiltered reaction to this episode, including bonuses that I share only with my club members, details on joining my club is in the description box below for you. Alrighty, people, that's a wrap on my binge watch process for the day when it comes to Fringe, and I look forward to sharing my reaction and my afterthoughts to episode 6 soon enough. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.